Hey, Dragon Slayers. It's been about maybe 30 minutes or so since my last meal. Blood sugar is 178. I honestly couldn't even tell you everything I ate in my last meal because it was so many things, so many variety of things. It was sort of like a brunchish style cafe. Was all you can eat. I had tons of eggs, some croissants, a little bit of jam, some butter, caprese salads. I honestly don't even remember all I had. Cold cuts and other varieties. Very good stuff. So, the next section of Ted Naiman's book is kind of a recap, and I figured I would go over this smaller section and just kind of follow up with my review and my thoughts. So, now that you guys know about the three hungers, you can strategize. So, number one, you want to eat lean protein and vegetables first. Targeting protein and minerals allows you to achieve nutrient satiety first. This allows you to be more in touch with energy hunger and fullness. Number two, you want to minimize carbohydrate frequency to allow for fat adaptation. Once you are fat adapted or more comfortable living in a low carb glycogen state, you are far better equipped to be in touch with your overall energy hunger and fullness. Part three is to eat added energy, carbs and fats, last and only if necessary. If you have a lot of available energy already in your body, you might be surprised to find just how little additional energy, added carbs and fats that you need. Part four is to be extremely cautious with high energy density carbs and fats together. You probably don't have to deprive yourself of these foods forever, but they need to be treated with extreme respect and caution. They can drive a lot of overeating. So the three pillars of the PE approach are maximizing satiety, which is the four things that I just went over, covers, maximizing fat adaptation, which that also includes, and avoiding the trifecta, right? The trifecta being high carb, high fat, high energy density. That's kind of a high level overview and recap of all of the stuff that has been mentioned before. And so these are simple principles that when you follow them, you'll start to notice some pretty significant changes over time. For me personally, the biggest thing that I noticed was when I increased my protein percentage and decreased my energy percentage, but more specifically, eating lean meat. So I grew up and I've always hated lean meat. It's just too dry to me. I did not prefer it. But I'm finding new and more ways to cook leaner meats and have them taste better. I will always prefer the fattier meats. I think they have more flavor. But as I'm trying to lose weight and maintain my blood sugar, but most importantly lose fat, the leaner the better. And there are so many myths out there, right? You've heard the concept of like, oh, eating fat won't make you fat. That's not true. I used to believe that. If you eat too much fat, you will get fat. If you eat too many carbs, you will get fat, right? Eating too much of anything, it's almost impossible to eat too much protein. Unless you're eating something like rabbit, which is basically 100% lean, and you're pounding whey protein shakes and only eating egg whites, then maybe you could possibly eat too much protein, but it's pretty much impossible. And when I focus on eating the leanest meats that I can, and then I throw in some vegetables in there, man, you'd be surprised how fast you get full. One thing that I've also noticed is that because the meats are leaner, you have to chew them for longer. So it actually takes me 2 or 3 times as long to eat as it did before because I'm spending more time chewing, which is probably not a bad thing. So I'm really curious to see where you guys are in your journey. Comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know where you are today and what you've noticed incorporating some of these things that we've talked about. There's still more important concepts coming up, so stay tuned. And don't forget that you can support me at Patreon. The link is in the description below. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.